Vice President Sara Duterte, may plano pala talagang ipapatay ni Marcos Jr., Lisa at Martin Romualdez. Nako po, talagang grabe ito mga banateros mga kabiyaya. Talagang lumalabas so ngayon sa impeachment trial na nagaganap ay talagang may plano itong si Marcos Jr., Lisa at Romualdez na ipapatay itong si VP Sara Duterte. Bakit nga ba? Kasi ngayon, lumalabas so sa mga impeachment, sa usaping impeachment ngayon sa Senado, kaya lang nila ini-impeach si VP Sara is dahil natatakot silang kapag pinapatay nila si VP Sara ay babalikan sila nito at may papatay din sa kanila. Grabe no, talagang lumalabas ngayon na hindi talaga pang Pilipino, hindi talaga para sa mga Pilipino etong impeachment ni VP Sara Duterte na lagi nilang pinamumukha sa atin, kundi dahil ito ay para dahil sa takot nila na kapag sa oras na ipinatumba nila si Vice President Sara Duterte ay may tao din na tutumba sa kanila. Grabe, ang tindi talaga, no? So talagang totoo nga yung balita na etong si VP Sara ay kapag hindi nadala sa impeachment at kapag hindi nadala sa dayaan sa COMELEC or sa botohan ay gagawin nila ay ipapategi talaga nila. So matagal na tong mga playbook na to. Sa totoosin, ito ay playbook ni First Lady Lisa Araneta Marcos. Playbook niya to dahil ang playbook ni ang nasa playbook ni Marcos Jr. ganito. Unang-una ay tanggalan ng prangkisa ang SMNI. Pangalawa, ikulong si Pastor Apollo Kibuloy. Pangatlo, dalhin sa dahig etong si Pangulong Duterte. Pang-apat ay i-impeach si Vice President Sara Duterte para maituloy niya yung CONAS, yung kanyang extend sa kanyang termino. At yung playbook naman ni Martin Romualdez ay gusto niya ay halos parehas din sila ni Marcos Jr. Tanggalan ng prangkisang SMNI para hindi maibalita yung mga tunay na balita, ipakulong si Pastor Apollo Kibuloy, idalhin sa daig si Pangulong Duterte, at i-impeach si VP Sara para siya naman ang makatulay pagiging Vice President. At kapag naging Vice President siya, yayariin niya naman yung pinsan niya para siya naman ang maging Presidente at may pagpatuloy niya yung pangarap niya maging Prime Minister ng bansang Pilipinas. So halos tugma din, kaso may panguhudas na plano si Romualdez laban sa kanyang pinsan. No? So talagang ultimong sila ay magsusuwagan din sa bandang huli. At etong playbook na pagpapatumba kay VP Sara Duterte ay di umano ay ito yung playbook ni First Lady Lisa Araneta Marcos dahil sa sobrang gigil niya kay Sara Duterte, kay VP Sara Duterte, na talagang kapag hindi nadala sa mga plano ni Marcos Jr. at Romualdez ay ang nagbubukod tangin at last at pinakahuli nilang plano ay ipatumba si VP Sara Duterte. At yan ang kagustuhan daw ni First Lady Lisa Araneta Marcos. Ang tindi, no? Grabe nila damdamin ng politika. Grabe nila hindi kasi sa totoo lang, matindi ang galit ng Administrasyong Marcos sa mga Pilipino dahil sa ginawa ng mga Pilipino nung panahon ng kanyang ama. 'Di ba? Sinira yung mga ari-arian nila, pinalayas sila, hindi sila makauwi dito sa bansa. So hindi rin naman kasalanan ng mga Pilipino 'yon, kasalanan din ng tatay at nanay niya 'yon dahil napakakawatan din ng kanyang mga magulang, no, ni Imelda Marcos at Marcos Sr. So deserve nila yung kung ano yung ginawa sa kanila ng mga Pilipino noon. Kaya ngayon, ang ginagawa sa atin ni Marcos Jr. ay talagang bumabawi siya dahil doon sa ginawa ng mga Pilipino sa kanya, dahil mas kinampihan ng mga Pilipino noon ang mga dilawan. Dahil nung panahon na yun nauuto pa ng mga dilawan ng mga Pilipino. Ngayon alam na nila rin na yung Marcos at ang mga dilawan ay halos iisa lang din, mga kawatan din at mga hudas, mga demonyo din sa bansa natin. So ganyan, no, mga banateros, mga kabiyaya, grabe tong nakita natin ngayon na patindi na kaganapan sa impeachment trial ni Vice President Sara Duterte. At ito, may ipapanood ako sa inyong video na kung saan ay yung ginagawang trial ngayon ay illegal. Ito nga yung ni-reveal ni Congressman Ungab. At ito, ipapanood ko po sa inyo yung video para lubos nyo pong maunawaan. At syempre, bago yan, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe sa ating YouTube channel. Paipindot na lang din po yung bell button para lagi tayong updated sa ating mga video araw-araw. At pakipollow na rin po ang aking Facebook page na JG Banateros, ang aking second account na JG Banateros ulit, ang kanyang pangalan, TikTok account na JG Bara, at ang buong Banateros Brothers, especially to Banat by DCAR and SMNI News. So ito po, panoorin natin.
Si Davao City Representative Isidro Sid Ungab sa gabing ito para po sa mga katanungan natin sa naging first day ng Senate impeachment trial. Kong, mayong gabi sir, si MJ Sadmar.
Good evening, mayong gabi Admar o MJ. Magandang gabi sa lahat.
Po, sir, maraming nag-comment doon sa inyo pong post sa Facebook nang meron po kayong mga assessment no hinggil doon sa pagdadala ni Senate President Win Gatchalian doon po sa mga ni-raise na point of order kanina ng magkapatid na Cayetano. I think parang si Senator Alan lang yung nag-raise ng point of order. Anong masasabi mo doon, Kong?
Yes, tama naman yung nag-raise ng point of order si Senator Alan Cayetano. And considering that he is an experienced senator, experienced congressman, matagal din nag-congressman yan. And he is a lawyer. Alam niya yung batas, alam niya yung constitution. And at the proper time, proper yung timing niya na nag-raise siya ng question immediately when the Senate President called on Senator Lacson to nominate a presiding officer because wala naman talaga yun sa Constitution na pipili ka o boboto yung Senate. Kung ang intention ng framers ay mag-vote o pipili sila ng mag-elect sila, dapat sinulat yun sa Constitution. Hindi naman nakasulat sa Constitution. So, Senator Cayetano was correct in raising the point of order. And when the point of order was raised, it should be given priority because that is an incidental motion. It suspends all the other business. So yun ang dapat ginawa ng Senate President. You know, when you are a speaker or a deputy speaker, a Senate President or a Senate Pro Tempore, you should know the rules. You should know the rule of order. Hindi naman pwede na hindi mo papansinin yung point of order because the point of order is very important. Why is a point of order is raised? And in this particular point, the raise ni Senator Cayetano, yung Constitution, and it's clear in the Constitution that yung impeachment, kapag if the President is impeached, it is the Chief Justice who will preside. And it is silent when kung hindi presidente, kung non-presidential impeachment, kung vice president, kung justices o chief justice, silent nakalagay. But ayun na nga, kung silent doon, the default mode there is the Senate President. Why? Because in terms of hierarchy, number one is the Senate, is the President of the Philippines. Number two is the Vice President. So when the number two is in trial for impeachment, yung number three ang mag-preside, the Senate President. So who is the number three Senate President? Ang number four is the House of Representatives, the Speaker. Yung number five is the Chief Justice. So ganun yung tinatawag natin na constitutional status o constitutional hierarchy. So when the Vice President is being the topic of the impeachment, siya yung respondent, so dapat ang nag-preside doon yung Senate President. Nakasulat ba doon sa Constitution na kung ang mag-preside i-elect? Wala, hindi nakasulat doon. So, Senate President Gatchalian is wrong for not entertaining clearly the point of order. In fact, mag-rule ka dapat when you are the Senate President or when you are the presiding officer, you will rule if the point of order is in order. So dapat nag-rule siya, yung point of order is well taken or point of order is not taken or point of order is out of order. Wala naman. Ang nag-manifest lang siya. This is the manifestation of the Senate President. Kinabi niya. So without the ruling, supposedly, hindi sila makaproceed to another business. Now, you compare this to the impeachment of Chief Justice Corona. When the Senate President was Senate President Enrile, immediately after convening the impeachment court, siya na ang nag-reside. Questions on a point of order, questions on motion were all addressed by Senate President Enrile. In other words, the president of the Senate President sitting as the presiding officer was already established during the time of Senate President Enrile during the impeachment of Chief Justice Corona. Second, di ba nung nakaupo si Alan Cayetano as Senate President, although for a short time, nag-convene na yung impeachment court. And when the impeachment court convened, si Senator Cayetano ang nag-act as presiding officer. They took their oath and he was the one presiding. Hindi sila nag-elect ng another presiding officer. So, personally, I think and I believe that that move to elect a Senate President, elect a presiding officer in the person of Chis Escudero, I think is unconstitutional and illegal. And that can be raised in the coming days, that can be raised in the Supreme Court. Ang problema kasi dyan, kasi continuing na yun maging problema dyan. The rulings of the chair is very important. If you will notice, and if you will remember, it is still fresh in our memory. Senate President Enrile, who was presiding the impeachment of Chief Justice Corona, made several rulings, and he made a lot of opinions. He made written opinions, he made verbal opinions. So magaling si Senate President Enrile, and he was really able to preside properly, to handle the proceedings orderly and properly. It is the obligation, it is the statutory obligation of the Senate President to act as the presiding officer. And the revelation there was when both Senator Alan Cayetano and Senator Pia Cayetano presented the proceedings, the deliberations of the Constitutional Convention or Constitutional Commission that drafted the 1987 Constitution. There was a deliberation between Commissioner Christian Monsod and Commissioner Hilario Davide, who became Chief Justice, and he was the one presiding during the impeachment of President Erap Estrada. It was clear and it was established there in the deliberation that ang sabi doon sa deliberation for the impeachment of the President, it is clear that the Chief Justice will preside. At hindi nakasulat nga. And it is assumed that, ito klaro sa records of the Constitutional Commission, that it is assumed that the Senate President will preside in all other impeachment other than the President. So, nakakatawa nga kanina kasi tama yung point ni Senator Pia Cayetano, baka pagtatawan tayo ng mga law students. I am not a lawyer pero nagbabasa naman ako ng law, no? Nagbabasa ako ng political law, nagbabasa ako ng constitutional law, and it is very clear that when yun na nga, napatawa ko kasi merong senador doon nagsabi, ano ba yun, sinulat ko, expressio unios es exclusio alterios. The express mention of one thing exclude all others. So, ang ibig sabihin nito, expressly written si Chief Justice ang mag-preside kapag presidente ang under impeachment. In other words, hindi siya pwede doon mag-preside sa iba. You cannot assume that you will elect. So, kung ang purpose ng Constitutional Commission o purpose ng Constitution is mag-elect, so dapat sinulat doon sa Constitution. It was not written there. So, what are the rules of statutory construction? Balikan mo yung framers ng Constitution, pag-aralan mo. So, there is a very big chance, that this will be brought to the Supreme Court for interpretation. And there is really a possibility that this will be questioned time and again. Because the rulings of the chair or rulings of the presiding officer is very, very important. So that's my point. I think tama yung point of order ni Senator Alan Cayetano. Ang mali, hindi i-rule yung point of order na diretso doon sa motion. So, the motion to elect kaagad without first determining if the point of order was proper or out of order.
Opo.
So,
Opo, Kong.
may question talaga.
Opo, Kong, yung pong niraise po ninyo na in-skip na elementary rule ng Senate President sa parliamentary proceedings, ito po ay ina-apply sa City Council, sa Sangguniang Panlalawigan, itong mga ganitong ruling o ganitong mga procedures. Ganun.
Kahit sa barangay.
Kahit sa barangay.
Kahit sa barangay, yes.
Ito ba yung magandang halimbawa, Kong? Lalo pat nanunood din, maraming mga konsihal, maraming mga sangguniang panlalawigan members, maraming mga barangay councilors ang nanunood po buong Pilipinas sa mga proceeding na ito.
Yes, tama yun because the point of order nasa hierarchy of the diretso yan. Sa Robert's Rule of Order, you have to immediately entertain that because a point of order is the violation of the rules, and in this case, it's a violation of the Constitution. Now, it was not ruled kanina by the Senate President. So, hindi klaro yung motion to elect. Was it in the proper order o hindi ba proper yung order? So, I think most likely iaakyat talaga for interpretation yan sa Supreme Court. Kasi mahirap naman na tuloy-tuloy yung may mga questions na pwede lalabas because the chair or the presiding officer rules always, especially in an impeachment proceeding. Presentation of evidence, presentation of the witnesses, precedence of motions, may mga debate dyan. And the ruling of the presiding officer is very important. The presiding officer should be valid and in accordance with the rules and in the Constitution. Now, the question was, yung replacement, I think na-mention yun na pag-usapan dyan. The amendment to the rules was made last June 3, in which there were only 12 senators present. Question there, was there a proper quorum? Was the resolution to amend valid? So I think there is still a pending case in court there. Hindi naman nalagi correct after yung merong special session last June 17 ba yun? O basta June, second week of June, merong special session when they elected a new Senate President in the person of Senate President Win Gatchalian. Dapat di-correct nila doon yung I would say infirmity. Mali. So may malaki talagang question dito. Now, dumating tayo dito ngayon na maraming questions on the constitutionality. It also happened there in the House during the deliberations. Alam mo, itong impeachment do, ang daming infirmities. Sa committee hearing sa House, 55 members of the committee, we were more than 300 congressmen. Only the 55 members of the committee were allowed to ask questions, were allowed to interpolate or cross-examine the witnesses. Kaming mga hindi members, because kami, mga taga Davao, wala kaming membership sa committee. I would say I'm one of the most experienced congressman kasi pang-anim na termino ko na to. Wala akong committee ba? Hindi man ako member sa isang committee. We were told that yung hindi nakapagtanong dito sa committee, doon na kayo sa plenary magtanong. Pagdating sa plenary, I was expecting na makapagtanong kami. We were only given 3 minutes to ask question. No extension. How can you deliberate, or how can you absorb properly? How can the member of Congress understand when you are only given 3 minutes to ask question? I have more than 100 pages of questions. 2 page lang yung naitanong ko because I was only given 3 minutes to ask questions. Itong isa pa. I wrote the Committee on Justice. I wrote the Secretary General. Humiya ako ng transcript of records of the proceedings of the committee. Nakailang committee hearings yun? 4 or 5 ba? Or 6. Kasi I wanted to see, because there was a big difference in the original articles of impeachment submitted by the complainants, and i-consolidate nila doon pagdating sa committee. And the consolidated version, iba na doon sa sinagot ni Vice President Sara Duterte. So, the theory, or for the sake of due process, kung binago mo yung complaint or articles of impeachment, kung binago mo yung facts doon, kasi may dinagdag sila ng mga witnesses doon, may dinagdag sila ng mga ebidensya, i-inform mo yung respondent. Because hindi naman pwede dalhin mo doon sa plenaryo na hindi niya alam yung mga dinagdag. So back to the point ko kanina, humingi ako ng copy ng transcript of records doon sa Committee on Justice at saka sa Secretary General. The letter was dated May 9, it was received May 11. Alam niyo kung anong petsa ko na-receive? May 25 or 26. Tapos na yung voting. Tapos na yung voting ng impeachment doon sa House plenary. And again, I was only given 3 minutes. How can a member of the House, in fact, ako lang yata yung humingi ng copy. Dapat it should have been distributed yung transcript of the records of the minutes of the meeting of the committee. Dapat pinamigay yun sa members para ma-absorb mo lahat. Kasi out of the 300 plus members, 55 lang ang members ng Committee on Justice. So doon mo makikita that there was really a big question on the due process. So sana the students or the professors of history will look into this, that there was no proper deliberation, there was no proper due process given to the respondent Vice President. Kahit ako na congressman, na matagal na akong congressman, I was not given a chance to really ask or propound intelligent questions because I was only given 3 minutes. So most of those questions I asked were only procedural questions. Hindi na ako nakatanong ng substantive questions about the witnesses, about the testimonies, about the figures, the data presented by the merong mga data doon na present yung AMLC, may mga figures i-present yung former senator, may marami doon ng questions. So hindi kami nakapagtanong doon sa committee. So lalo na sa plenary, walang question. So nagbutuhan kami ng hindi na deliberate masyado yung articles of impeachment doon sa House. Ngayon, nakikita ko na naman yan sa Senate na merong constitutional infirmity, which is very important because it is clear in the Constitution, and the Constitution does not say that you have to elect a presiding officer. The framers of the Constitution, in its deliberation, nagsabi na the Senate President, automatically, siya dapat ang mag-preside sa ibang mga impeachment maliban sa presidente ng Pilipinas. Because if the President of the Philippines is under impeachment, it will be the Chief Justice who will preside. So the default mode there, kahit hindi nakasulat, is the number 3 man in the hierarchy of the public officials. Number 3 is the Senate President. Yun yung aking mga observations, MJ at Admar.
Opo, Kong, bago lang po si Partner Admar, usapin po tayo, Kong, ng mandato. Dahil sinabi po ni Congressman Jervil Luistro kanina, Congresswoman Luistro, yung Latin phrase na Vox Populi est Suprema Lex. In English, the voice of the people is the supreme law. Now, sinagot po siya ng depensa ni Attorney Sheila Sison. Sabi niya, the Vice President was voted by 32 million Filipinos. This is the voice of the people. Anong masasabi mo doon, sir? Sa palitan po nila ng mga pahayag.
Correct. Tama. Voice of the people is the supreme law. In fact, she got the highest vote in the last election. Higher than the president. Hindi lang yung 32 million vote. She has the highest approval ratings from among the top government officials. Hindi lang siya highest net satisfaction ratings, approval satisfaction ratings, at saka yung sa presidential election survey for 2028. She is the number 1 and the most formidable candidate. Kaya nga, hindi maiwasan maisip ng tao at ng taong bayan na this is a purely political exercise to eliminate the most potent and formidable opponent, formidable candidate in 2028. Kasi wala silang kandidato na pwede ilaban kay Vice President Sara Duterte. So ang gagawin nila, i-impeach nila and they will do everything. Grabe, makikita mo yung resource mobilization nila at saka naglabasan yung parang kabuti yung mga trolls ngayon, yung mga media spins, mga media press releases. Grabe, it's really a demolition. But if you will notice, the demolition has been going on for more than 2 years already. The Quadcom has been doing the demolition for a long time already. At hindi naman bumababa yung support ni Vice President Sara Duterte, especially for the Mindanao areas and Visayas. At saka, if you will notice, even in Metro Manila, may support na rin siya. So yung balance of Luzon lang yung kulang yung kaniyang support sa mga surveys. But para sa akin, this will really redound to political motives. So correct yung sinabi nung lead defense counsel kanina na Vox Populi. So voice of the people. The 32 million votes cannot be disregarded. Saka nagbabantay yung mga bumoto yan, ha? Nagbabantayan kung sino yung nagsasalita ng tama. Saka that explains why bakit hindi bumababa, kasi alam naman natin yung common sense, alam naman natin yung tama. Saka paulit-ulit lang yung mga sinasabi ever since, paulit-ulit lang. So I noticed that.
Opo, Kung yung threshold para sa botohan, hindi na po yon, kumbaga case closed na po ba dito pa lang sa unang trial na impeachment trial po, ng araw na impeachment trial, batay sa mga salita kanina ni Presiding Officer Chis Escudero?
Yes, si Senator Chis Escudero cited President ruling sa Supreme Court. At saka hindi lang yan. Klaro sa Constitution na two-thirds of all the members. So who are the members? Sila yung mga senators na nasa roster pa. Hindi naman natanggal sa roster si Jinggoy Estrada. Hindi naman natanggal sa roster si Bato de la Rosa. Hindi naman matatanggal siguro sa roster si Senator Marcoleta. Two-thirds of the 24 who are members of the Senate. And I think during the impeachment of Chief Justice Sereno, Hindi lang yun natuloy kasi nag-resign siya. The very much learned, the mautak na si Chief Justice Davide gave also his opinion na yung two-thirds, kahit wala na yung isang senador, supposedly 23, sabi niya, two-thirds is still 16. So 16 votes is necessary to convict the vice president in this particular impeachment.
Opo. Sa pananaw niyo po, kung mauobliga ng impeachment court na makadalo ang dalawang nakakulong na senador, kagaya po ng pag-obliga na mag-attend ng mga hearing, ng mga investigasyon, ang mga resource person or mga magiging witness, no, sa isang investigasyon kahit na sila ay nakakulong?
Well, I think it should be given a special permission or a special privilege. Yun na nga yung mga witnesses pinapalabas sa kulungan para mag-attend doon. Meron silang mga pina-attend doon sa doon sa impeachment hearing sa House. And this is a very important matter, the impeachment of the number 2 official of the land. And aside from that, they are still presumed innocent until proven guilty. So, with all the good intentions, considering na innocent pa nga sila, unless proven guilty, wala pa naman silang ruling eh. As that ruling will still be appealed to the higher court. So kung ako ang tatanungin, yes, why not? They should be able to attend, and the proper petition should be made to the highest court of the land to allow them to attend sessions.
Opo. Kung mga ilang buwan na lang siguro mag-uumpisa na rin yung paghimay para sa 2027 national budget, na sinasabi nga na ang 1 year before ang mismong araw ng election na budget ay tinagurian ding election budget. Ano po ang makikita nyo po rito? Kasi meron din pahayag ang gobyerno natin na may isasama na ang flood control na pagbabudget for 2027. Sinasabi rin na posibleng umabot ng hanggang unang mga buwan ng 2027 ito pong impeachment trial. Baka hindi mahimay ng husto ng mga lalo na ng mga senador ito po, or magiging hamon sa kanila yung pagtiyak na magkaroon ng transparency, kasi issue po ito ngayon, lalo kabilang kayo po dun sa nag-question din sa mga previous na mga GAA po natin na congressman.
Well, it is very, very important. No? The budget is the most important piece of legislation passed by Congress every year because that involves the operation of the entire government. We call that the budget is the final financial interpretation of the plans and programs of the economic development plan, socio-economic development plan of the government. There was a slowdown ng ating ekonomiya. 3% in the last quarter, 2.8% in the first quarter. Inflation is up. If you will notice, investments is down. There's a kind of loss of confidence in the investments, loss of investors' confidence. At saka yung target nila is something like more than 7 trillion. We have to hihimayin talaga natin ang gusto yan because how can you raise the 7 trillion when the economy is down? The basis for the budget is the GDP growth or the gross domestic product. It is a percentage of the gross domestic product, yung tinatawag natin na projected earnings sa BIR, sa Bureau of Customs is very, very dependent on the economy. So yung tax collection efforts na gagawin is very dependent on the economic development. When the economy is down, how can you raise your taxes? So magtataka ka bakit naka-project ng 7 trillion when at present binababa na yung projected growth, no? Something like 4% plus na lang. And it is not only the DBCC, Development Budget Coordinating Committee, yung aside from the DBCC, yung international financial institutions and the credit rating agencies have already reduced our growth targets. So kapag mag-reduce ka ng growth targets mo, bumababa din yung tax returns mo. So paano mangyari yan? Aakyat yung budget deficit kung malaki masyado yung projected na budget, pero yung income mo is very low because of the slowdown in the economy. So para sa akin, how do you reboot? Yun talaga yung solusyon doon sa questions of the corruption. Hanggang walang big fish na makukulong diyan sa flood control anomalies na yan. Yung anomalya sa flood control. Naghahanap pa rin ng tao. Nauna pa yatang nakulong si Kung Marcoleta at saka si former Congressman Defensor. So kailangan natin yung honest to goodness, seryoso na pag-address sa corruption problem sa ating bansa.
Congressman, daghang salamat sa imong oras ug higayon. Sa ulitin po, amping sa kanunay.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, daghang salamat po. Thank you for the time to express my views and opinions on the...
I always respect the positions taken even by the opposing counsel and even yung House. No? So I will not comment on that. Pero pagdating sa defense, we don't really kasi count win or losses per day. Lalong-lalo na we're only on our first witness and on the second day. So I think it's for the defense lang hindi ko po kinukontra si Congressman Adyong because that's their position. Pero for the defense, hindi namin yan binibilang na win or loss kasi masyado pang maaga para magbilang ng ganyan para sa amin.
Sir, how is comment yung po dun sa School of Thought na kasi pwede mo mag-check na lang daw pag formal or evidence na kung mag-yung state objection wherein they're examining parang attempt to disrupt yung comment.
The general rule is for documents kasi the objection is made during the formal offer of the documents. But the defense feels it's really important for us to put matters on record, especially because as you know, during our answer, we have raised issues, no? Kaya meron tayong motion for exclusion on certain documents na we feel kasi should not be considered dahil di naman siya naka-attach sa original complaint, while others naman hindi saklaw nung years kung saan impeachable officer ang ating Vice Presidente. So we are just putting matters on record.
Attorney, what can you say doon sa manifestation ni Senator Risa na pinastark off ng abogado?
Well, sa akin naman po, the senator judges are entitled to raise their manifestation. So we leave it up to the presiding officer kung ano po yung tingin niya doon. Sa atin, I think, in fairness to Senator Judge Risa, she also clarified na she wasn't naman provoking any parang closing statement or summation. I think she just really wanted to know what the relevance was of all these video clips. So I want to be fair and more than that, I don't want to comment any further.
Attorney, what's your reaction with the manifestation naman ni Attorney Roy Nakapunan na they're planning na maging witness si VP Sara for greatness? Though sinabi na kanina ni Senator Chis na hindi daw pwede kasi nakabase sa inyo. Pero posible ba na payagan ng depensa?
Well, sa amin, we will comment when the motion is there. I think it's premature right now. Narinig naman natin yung mga pahayag. Narinig din naman natin, that's very clear under the Constitution, yung right against self-incrimination, na pag yung respondent mismo o yung akusado mismo hindi pwedeng i-compel na mag-testify against himself or herself. That's very clear under the Constitution. But of course, there's room to argue here and there. Abangan na lang natin. Siguro once the motion is in fact made by the prosecution, we will definitely submit our position on the matter.
Pero may mga nag-question ang legality nung pagiging presiding officer ni Senator Chis Escudero. Anong komento niyo daw?
Wala namang kaming, sa amin, no comment pa muna as of this time, no? Sabi nga niya, anyone is free, any party, may raise that issue at some point, hindi ba? So, tingnan na lang natin. Pero sa amin, hindi pa namin napag-uusapan ng defense yung mga bagay na yan. Kung sakali, but sa totoo lang, para lang hindi ma-mislead yung public sa defense, wala pa kaming pinag-uusapan na ganyan about the presiding officer.
Are you satisfied with the performance of the presiding officer?
Well, first of all, I don't think we have the right to be satisfied or unsatisfied. But yeah, I mean, it was. I think for the past 2 days, there has been an orderly conduct of the proceedings. So we submit ourselves to the court.
Attorney, mayroong manifestation ng prosecution kanina to call Yusek Zuleika Lopez and the Director Veron Magiba for next week ko yata. Mag-send po ba or mag-ibigay po ba ng sagot ang defense sa manifestation nito?
Well, I think they are asking for the issuance of yung subpoena to tecum and ad testificandum. So natanggap naman natin yan. So we will just prepare for that.
Attorney, many are asking bakit daw dito ginawa yung meeting po kanina with the Vice President.
Well, as I've mentioned earlier, yung Vice Presidente kasi natin, at least as far as I know her, yan talaga yung character niya. So, ayaw niyang nai-inconvenience kung sino man yung ka-meeting niya. So, even ako nun, she would ask me kung anong time ako pwede, saan ako pwede, saan convenient sa akin. Usually, she's the one who will adjust, no? Specifically for today, because alam naman niya na ongoing yung impeachment trial, and alam naman niya that the defense is here at least around lunchtime or so para sigurado hindi kami malilate sa 2 p.m. So, para sa kanya, mas convenient para sa defense na dito na lang ganapin yung aming pulong. So, kaya siya pumunta dito. Wala, we cannot because that's subject to attorney-client privilege.
But attorney, intimidation or any kind of intimidation or intent po sa senator judges as well as the
No, I think that's so far off. I think we're making something out of nothing. Intimidation meaning the Vice President being here. No, parang I think we're creating, ma'am, I'm sorry, but I think that's really creating a story out of nothing. No, it was a meeting. I don't think the Vice President coming here would intimidate anyone, hindi ba? Oh.
Attorney, kanina po may napanggit na walk out po si Attorney.
Hindi po totoo yun. Talaga pong kailangan lang niyang mag-toilet break, no? Kahit naman ako kanina 2 beses ako or 3 beses pa nga yata ako lumabas. So, she was really on her way out. Tapos nung nasabing nag-walk out siya, narinig yata niya, so bumalik siya, sinabi niya na no, I'm still here, I just need to go to the toilet.
Pero may mga moments po kanina na habang nagsasalita po yung prosecutor downstairs. Parang nag-react po yung defense. Normal po bang nangyayari?
Well, yeah, because sometimes, but siyempre, we used to all try to compose ourselves and try to make, not to react so much. But hindi naman, kasi we're a team, diba? So we all, even if someone's the one that's anchoring for the day, merong nakatayo dun sa podium ba yung tawag no? Para sa atin, or rostrum, kami naman, we're a team. So as you can see, we help each other, we pass notes, ganyan, to help each other out. So, hindi naman, normal lang naman po siya.
Without going to the merits, attorney, may we seek clarification from the defense. What's the wisdom behind insisting to play the 2-hour press conference earlier instead of going with the 2-minute
Okay, ang hirap, I really hope I'm not cited in contempt for this, but it's really context. Yan lang naman ang gusto natin. Nasabi na naman kanina siguro yan, so I can just be factual. It's really context. Kasi ang utterances natin, di ba, if it's taken just a certain phrases, sometimes it's taken out of context. So sa amin, what we wanted to show is just context. But aside beyond that, please don't make me comment any further at baka po ma-cite ako in contempt, no, for violating the rule.
Kamusta po si Attorney Carlo Narvasa? Of course, siya yung parang naging first defense lawyer ng humarap kay Attorney Decudan. And some comments are saying na baka na mapagod na si Attorney Narvasa or baka na-overwhelm siya. Have you talked to
Hindi naman.
after?
Hindi naman. Okay naman siya. Hindi naman. For all of our lawyers are litigation lawyers, so we're used to grueling hours in court. You know, it's not the first time that na kahit naman sa regular courts, tumatagal rin ng ilang oras. No? Sometimes even 1 full day ang examination of witness. So, hindi naman siya issue. He's doing well and he's okay. I just spoke to him before coming here.
Based on your statement that the Vice President's
it's her habit to be not inconvenience her staff. Will it be a regular occurrence for her to be visiting the Senate before the session, or
Wala naman kami napag-usapan na gano'n na magiging regular yon, no?
because you've known her for quite some time. So pwedeng mangyayari ulit yun, nabibisita na lang siya anytime.
Well, that's always a possibility na bibisita siya, pero wala kami napag-usapan na schedule or anything.
Will not that affect more or less the effectivity of parang she's already here and yung subpoena ba? But hindi ba yun, in your opinion, will it not affect more or less the decision to subpoena her as a hostile?
I don't know. I think the decision to move for the issuance of a subpoena is up to the prosecution.
Hostile witness.
But that's up to the prosecution, ma'am, and I will not answer for the prosecution.
Attorney, may marching orders po ba sa inyo si VP Sara kanina yung nakita?
Wala naman. But again, I cannot disclose what is discussed between he's well within his rights to say what he feels and thinks. He's well within his rights to say what he feels and thinks.
Last na po.
Last, attorney, kanina yung regarding po na short statement ni VP Sara nung nandun siya, nag-react po doon si Representative Terry. Ito po yung exact statement niya. Maraming salamat sa inyo pong payag, Madam Vice President. Makakadagdag po ito doon sa batayan kung bakit ito po yung articles of impeachment on threats against the Vice President. Your reaction? Against the President.
I don't know what ano yung context ng sabi na, so it would be unfair for me to comment on Congressman Terry Don's statement. But I guess the defense is just here. We're focused on our case regardless of the statements made by personalities. Sa amin, no? We just want to insulate ourselves from that and just focus on the case at hand and focus on the proceedings like what is scheduled for tomorrow.
Okay po, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ayan po mga banateros, no? Ang tindi talaga nung talagang kahit sa impeachment trial lumalabag talaga sila sa batas. Ang ganda ho nung paliwanag ni Congressman Ungab. Abuti na lang talaga, no? Mayroong SMNI, mayroong mga ganitong tao na talagang naghahatid ng tunay na balita, kasi kung wala yung mga yan, kung wala yung tunay na pagbabalita, kung wala yung mga lawyer na nagtuturo sa atin kung ano ba talaga yung tunay na batas, na yung ginagawa ba kay VP Sara, yung ginagawa ba sa ibang tao, ay angkop pa ba sa batas yun ba ay paglabag sa batas, yun ba ay tama ba na yun ang tularan ng mga kabataan na nangangarap din na maging attorney, na maging lawyer, na maging tagapagpatupad ng batas soon sa kanilang sa kanilang future. So napakaganda ho nitong mga ganitong tao na talagang tinuturuan tayo na para malaman natin kung tama pa ba yung ginagawa ng mga kilalang personalidad, lalo na yung mga politikong nakikita natin ngayon na talagang lumalabag na sa batas. Sobra-sobra na kabastusan na sa konstitusyon ng kanilang ginagawa, katulad na lang nung ine-explain ni Congressman Ungab. So buti na lang talaga may mga ganyang video, at buti na lang ay napapanood natin, dahil kung hindi baka nananatili pa rin tayong naniniwala sa pakulo ng ibang mga politiko. So yung mga banateros, ano pong may kukomento nyo dito sa mga napag-usapan natin? Comment nyo lang po dyan sa baba. At syempre, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe sa ating YouTube channel. Paipindot na lang din po yung bell button para lagi kayong updated sa ating mga video araw-araw. So mega love shoutout sa lahat ng OFW, Hero Abroad, saan mang panig ng mundo. Ingat po kayo palagi dyan. Mabuhay po kayo. At sa ating mga mahal na senior citizen, at sa lahat ng patuloy na sumusubaybay sa Banateros Brothers, SMNI, at sa pamilyang Duterte. So yun, maraming salamat. Ingat kayo palagi. God bless and peace, and bye-bye.
The next performance will start momentarily.